has said, obviously this is a room that is maybe a little stronger than when he took the job. He thought that it could be. You added Isaac. Have they kind of lived up to what you thought they could be this fall so far, as far as your room?
Absolutely. To see the amount of growth that each one of the young men have had since practice one has been tremendous. It's a sign of their hard work and their dedication, really being meticulous in their approach. And I think the three of them, I'm lucky because they have great chemistry. They love to be around each other. They push each other, and they love each other. And when you have that type of connection, I think it just raises the whole room. And the young guys help the young guys out as well. But I'm just ecstatic about where this unit is right now from the amount of growth.
I know you don't want to get into who is, but if you had to race them, could you still beat them? Could you still take them?
I wish. In my mind, yes. and then reality takes over. But that's a neat thing. Is I feel like there's so many different types of backs, but they all got juice. And in this game, speed kills. And so even Isaac, he's a 220-pound man, but he had a big play today, and I was telling him it's like getting out on the highway, man, putting that 18-wheel on the highway, putting the pedal to the metal, man. Let's go. You know what I mean? And when he puts his pedal to the metal, he's a big man, and it's got a lot of velocity in there. You got to make your mind up, be a grown man to tackle. But Jaws, we know about his speed. Mo's been tremendous, had a lot of big plays, catching the ball well. So certainly exciting group.
Jaws seems like he's been a little bit more vocal when it's not his rotation, trying to get pointers and things like that. Have you been impressed and noticed him trying to take on more of a leadership role?
I have. He's just a great kid, great leader, understands it, very unselfish, plays the game for the team, not for himself. And when you have a guy like that, when your best player is your hardest worker as well, and he's vocal, it raises the room. There's a bar, there's a standard that we must meet, and he makes sure that we're all setting that standard and meeting that standard. And so he's almost like a coach on the field for the guys, and it's certainly been very beneficial for their growth.
Chris, what's it been like just trying to implement this offense? And because a lot of these guys have just said it has been adjustment for them. What's it been like just trying to get them familiar with it and just get them up to speed just on this offense and how you want the running backs to operate?
It's been awesome. You have kids that have a lot of want to. They have a lot of desire. They're pleasers. They want to do well, and they care about their performance, and they take notes. They're very detail oriented. They come prepared to every meeting, and they're asking questions. They want to know the why. And any of the best players I've ever been around, they want to know the why. And so when you have a mature unit like that, you've got a lot of experience in there. They've played some games, and they want to know the why. It's been awesome. And they help each other. They study on their own. Like I said, they're very close. They spend a lot of time together, and they quiz each other. These are things that they're doing at the training table and things like that. This was happening in the spring. Spend a lot of time together over the summer, really pushing each other. In the empty stadium, no one's around, just making sure we're doing our part to make sure that when the stadium is full, we're giving the fans what they want, and because we put the work in. So it's been awesome. The learning process has been great. They've done a good job helping the young guys as well. But when you have a great group like that and they love each other, it's been easy. It's my job easy.
From start to spring until now, what areas have you seen most growth in? How comfortable are you with them and just knowing the system and learning, doing what they're supposed to do?
I think the one major area of growth I've seen this camp is just our velocity through the line of scrimmage. Really made a big point of that, especially to like Isaac, bigger back. Even Jaws, maybe a little smaller, but it's important to understand at the running back position, when we're running the football, I have to carry velocity through the line of scrimmage, velocity and good pad level. And if we can do that, we can always gain yards, especially if you got a big back like Isaac, who's 220. When he hits it and he's bursting, he gonna feel like he's 240 on contact. You know what I mean? Even Jaws at whatever weight he is, when he's bursting, it's gonna feel like 205 in there. You know what I mean? And so it's critical that we can always carry good velocity through the line, make sure we're getting positive yards, but also be ready to manipulate defenders as well. We've worked on that as well, just making sure we're bending, we're giving head, shoulders, and hips in one direction, and making sure we're moving defenders and able to win in the closet. I tell them all the time, if we can win in the closet, we can win in space. And the best backs I've been around can do both. And I think that those are the two areas I really saw a lot of growth on this week and hope to continue to see growth.
Chris, when you last year when Maurice got his opportunity late in the season, he took advantage and had a couple of big runs, especially in the bowl game. When you got here, what did you see, like when you watched the tape, and what have you seen out here in fall camp from him?
More of the same. Just an explosive guy, great vision. One of the first things I noticed with him is he's got great feet. And I noticed as soon as we got here in January, we're doing bag drills, and he's very rarely in bad body position. He's almost like a cat. You know, it's impossible to drop a cat on his head. You know what I mean? Like there's always find a way to land on his feet, and he's kind of that way. And the best backs I've been around have great contact balance, so it's very difficult to kind of get him off balance. He finds a way to stay on track, stay in balance, get his pads upfield. And those are some of the things that I've noticed with him also. I mean, the ability to burst. I mean, when he gets the seam, you saw it in the bowl game. I mean, he can go the distance. So, you know, I'm excited about what he brings to the table. He's added some good weight, put a little bit more body armor on, and so, you know, he's really sturdy in there, and he's really in a good spot right now.
And what about Isaac? I mean, you guys saw firsthand last year he had a big play against you guys in that game. When you were recruiting him, kind of what did you tell him? What's kind of his role on this team?
I mean, he can do it all. He can do it all. He's got speed. You know, if he gets the seam, he can run. I mean, he did have a 90-yard touchdown against Maryland last year. I asked him yesterday in the media, I said, how long is your longest touchdown? He said 89. And I said, it was against Maryland on the outside zone. How did you win? Speed. I just outran him, coach. At 220 pounds, that's unique. You know what I mean? And so that coupled with just watching his highlights, I mean, they split him out a couple times and threw him a fade ball. He lays out, catches the ball in the end zone. He's got hands. He can track it downfield. And he's physical. He'll stick his face in the fan and pick up blitzers. I mean, he's complete. It's just a matter of him understanding how we play. A little bit more space for him. There was a transition in the spring, but I've seen some growth from him this fall to this point, and I'm just excited about where he's headed.
What's this been like for you to be back here? You know, to be home. You've been a lot of different places, played different, but what's it been like for you to be home?
A dream come true. A dream come true. It's been awesome.
Keywan Brown, the freshman, your thoughts on how, it sounds like he's picked up on things pretty quickly. Your thoughts on him?
Smart kid, you know, been a little bit of a transition for him. You know, he's been the man all his life, and you know, maybe wasn't required to work maybe quite as hard at times. You know, he really was a talented dude, and just kind of, it's been a little bit of a learning process for him, you know, because we play at a different speed, we play up tempo. He wasn't really used to that. So really his biggest challenge is just learning how to finish, learning the pace of practice, how much I need to compete on each rep, whether it be special teams, scout team, where we're on offense, we're working against the defense, whatever the case may be. It's just a different level of intensity and level of focus and finish. But he's been awesome. He's getting it. He's telling me today when we're coming off the field, he said, Coach, I feel like I'm starting to understand the pace of practice and how to compete at this level and all this stuff. So he's got the talent. It's just a matter of now just understanding the speed in which I need to practice. Even walkthrough is a little bit faster than maybe what he's used to in high school. So, and a lot of freshmen are that way. But the talent is there. So we're excited about where he is. And the older guys have done a good job just taking him under their wing, too.
Chris, what has been so special about being back here?
Just the history of this program. You know, I always wanted to come here. I always wanted to play here. And I was telling the guys, you know, this spring, I was like, you know, the coaching staff at the time, you know, I guess I was a little smaller. I was a little smaller in. But you know, I never received an offer from the University of Louisville. I had one from UK, but I never got one from the University of Louisville. Now, at the time, to their credit, I mean, every running back on the roster was 220 plus. I mean, you got Mike Bush, you got Lionel Gates, you got Eric Shelton, you got Kobe Smith, and, you know, great backs, you know, but I also felt like I could play a little bit as well. And just the opportunity was never afforded to me. And I just think it's just surreal coming back here every day that once upon a time, you know, my fingerprint wouldn't work to get in this building. I couldn't get access to get in here, but now I got all the access. And that's just God. You know, just bring it in.
Chris, last one. Caden Morgan, kid from Franklin County. What do you see from him so far?
Physical, competitive. He loves the game, and he's a very passionate dude. I mean, he brings the energy every day. He's never had a bad day. He loves to compete, and he's certainly fun to be around. And I think he's gotten exponentially better just since we started camp. And so it's really good to see his growth. He's listening now. At first he was, being a young guy, not overly locked in, so it's a lot of mental errors. And he was beating himself up a little bit, but we've really made a point of, hey man, don't put too much on your plate. Let's just try to be a little bit better every day. And he's focused on little details, and the growth is, it's bigger every day.
Is it sometimes when you get a freshman like that, who is by far the man on their high school team, they come in and it all came easy for them, and maybe they have a little high school trot to them every now and again, and you got to kind of get that out of them?
Oh yeah, yes. There is that transition period for a lot of them, and we, I try to tell them, I say, hey, look, man, you guys were great players in high school, but oftentimes the difference between guys who excel at this level and the ones who don't are the ones who are able to make the transition, the adjustments. There's elements of your game that you can't bring here. You've got to transition. You've got to adjust some things. You're not going to be able to circle the field and run outside of 11 people every play. At some point, I'm going to have to get my pads vertical. I might have to manipulate a defender in the hole because he understands the right angle, where in high school, I might just be able to always outrun that guy. So there's elements that you're going to need to be able to adjust in your game, and the sooner that happens, those guys usually have a chance to be productive at this level and possibly play beyond. But it's critical that they self-examine and look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, what exactly can I do better? And me as a coach, when we watch the video, I've got to point those things out and highlight those things so that I can help show them the way. And I think that they're doing a good job of listening.
I give you just one non-UFL question. Is it frustrating for you as a former running back and now a running backs coach to see what's happened in the NFL with running backs?
Oh yeah, no question. We definitely had to address the elephant in the room before we started camp. With everything that was going on with Saquon Barclay and Josh Jacobs still holding out, and now Jonathan Taylor, it was kind of, you could sense a little angst in the room. Because those guys, they all aspire to play in the NFL, and they're watching and they're seeing, and they're just like, wow, am I playing the right position? And so I just started to meet. I said, hey guys, I said, look, we can do one of two things, guys. We can all switch positions today. I'll go be the assistant tight ends coach or whatever, and we can just eradicate the position, or we can adjust. We can adjust. How do we adjust? How do we make ourselves more marketable? We've got to do it in three ways. We've got to run it, we've got to pass catch, and we've got to pick up blitzes. And we have to show value in special teams. That's how we gain our value back. It's just about adjusting, like I spoke about before. And I think they understand that moment. You've got guys like Jaws, Mo, they're special teams guys. They love special teams. And when your top guys love special teams, even Isaac loves special teams. He's a core special teams guy. That sets the tone for the room. So now everyone else, it's important. It must be important. And that helps us increase our value. And I think it helps us on offense as well. Just the movement skills, blocking people in space, catching footballs, tracking the football, running in traffic, running in space. All those things I think carry over into special teams. And so they've really done a great job of just really embracing that and showing more value and being passionate about special teams and just doing all the things we need to do to increase our value and show that we can play and that we have value to the game.